Alright, so today I backed my Jeep out of the garage and it started making a terrible sound, like coming from the belt area. I figured it's the alternator because out of all the things that I've replaced on this Jeep, the alternator is original to me, and I put 100,000 miles on it, and the Jeep has 300,000 miles, so the alternator has somewhere between 100 to 300,000 miles on it. Still works, just makes terrible sounds. The bearings are obviously toast. So I'm going to go ahead and make a quick video on how to replace the alternator. Alright, so the first step to pulling your alternator out is you got to get the belt off. I've got my 5/8, and you're going to want to go and loosen this pulley right here on the front. Alright, once the pulley's loose, you're going to remove the tension. The way you do that is you got another bolt right here. Right on the back here, you can see that as you tighten it, it will bring that riser up, pulling that pulley closer and tension the belt. So we're going to want to loosen it, which will pull the pulley away from the belt, releasing tension. You can just put it on here and start going. If you have a extension or a swivel, or once you've got it turned enough, you can actually, mine I can just spin by hand. Keep pulling that tensioner away. So your belt's getting nice and loose, almost there. Alright, and we're there. So now that it's pulled away enough, you can just grab your belt, pull it off the pulley, and then bring it out. In order to get it out, you have to pull it off pretty much all of these and bring it around the front of the fan. Let's see here. Oh, and there it is. Belt is off. So my alternator was putting out power, but I was getting a terrible screeching sound. It's probably got at least over 100,000 miles on. You can hear it here. It doesn't have any up and down play, but I mean the bearings have to be pretty shot. Alright, once the belt's off, we're going to go ahead and remove the electrical connection. I've got a 13/32 and a glove ready to put it in. Want to make sure not to arc this. This is the positive line coming off the alternator. Probably should remove your battery terminal or just play the risky game. Gonna pull my positive terminal. Alright, so I got my positive line there in a glove and a rag. Now looks like we've got one at the bottom, one at the top. So looks like there's a nut on the back of this, so I'm gonna need a box wrench. Pull that guy off. Alright, got my wrench on the back. Ratchet on the front. Go ahead and loosen this top hanger. Drop your wrench all the way to the floor because that helps. And then pretty much loosen this by hand. There's a ground strap on the other side of mine. Gotta get that off. And now, just gotta worry about the bottom one. Alright, so for the bottom pin, I'm just going to do a little shout out here. They actually put a insert in there, so there's no nut on the back, so that's wonderful, because I don't like having to hold two freaking wrenches. So, once you have the lower pin off, nut, ground stud, your power cable should come out. Probably won't, but just got to wiggle it a little bit. I think my... Oh. Oh, okay, it's filming this part here, give a better angle of view. So, looks like you've got to take another plug off for these two wires. So I'm going to need that little bolt, probably that little bolt, and that little bolt. All right, I went ahead and removed these two nuts. One nut over here, this nut, and now this finally is gonna come off, I hope. There we go. I'm gonna put that in a glove too. Don't believe that's positively charged, but you never know. All right, with those wires out of the way, all that's left to do is get it out of here, which shouldn't be terribly hard. Whoop. All right, it's out. I believe this is my OE alternator at some 300,000 miles. Hard for me to tell. But it's pretty shot. It was making a terrible sound. Alright, so I just got back from O'Reilly's, picked up a new alternator, just the basic reman. Got the 90 amp. There's an option for a 70 or a 90. Same alternator, just more output. They give you all new fasteners for all these. I just took them off already and put them in here. The two that go here, the two that go here, and then the one here. You still got to use your same mounting bolts, but you get new hookups for your wires. This alternator spins so much freer than my other one. Not that much, but the other one would whistle or like screech. This one spins nice and good. Stick it off there. But I'm gonna go through the steps of how to put it back in, get it going. Alright, so the first thing I would do is drop it in like this. I got it just past the AC lines, but it's not really in place, it's just kind of sitting. This makes it really easy to hook up these 4 screws you have to put in for this back wire. I would do that first before you even get it in place. Just drop it down in here, and we're gonna hook that up first. Tighten these, I got them all thumb tight on here. I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten them all up. These 2 little ones. Alright, so I've got these 2 tightened down. The one over here you can't really see. Tightened down, and then the one right here tightened down. Now that's done, we'll position it into place. You can do that after you position it into place, but it makes it extremely difficult. I didn't even know those were hooked up until I had already removed the majority of the mounting spots, and it wasn't coming out. So this is gonna go behind that for the top one, and then we'll swing the bottom one in. I'm probably gonna put that top bolt through. Let's see here. Boom, just like that. So out of the old bolts, we're going to be using the main top mounting bolt and the nut, and then the bottom one threads into the back of the bracket, so you don't need the nut. And then we'll do the top one first. Make sure you get that ground cable, which is right there. Make sure you put that on between the nut and the other piece right there. Let's see if we can get it. Alright, the top bolt's threaded in, and the bottom one. I got my wrench ready to go here to tighten up the bottom. Alright, once you got the top bolt loaded in and the rear one threaded in to the bracket, go ahead and tighten them both up. Alright, so now both the mounting bolts are on. The only thing left is to put your live positive back on the terminal there. Just be super careful if you haven't connected your battery, because it can arc. Alright, the alternator is completely on, all the wires installed. Now we just need to get the belt back on. If you have air conditioning, you're going to have one belt routing. If you have non-air conditioning, it's going to have a different size belt and different routing. So depending on that, you need to find that. You can use your book, or I'll post the photos of the belt routings probably in this. But we'll get that routed back, and then we'll go about tightening the tensioner. Once you got your belt routed back in place, you're just going to go ahead and tighten the tensioner. Usually do it by hand for a while. The tensioner's been tightened, belt's nice and tight. So now we're just going to position the fan, put the same wrench on our pulley here. We're just going to tighten it back down so it can't slide anymore. Alright, once it's all installed, we'll go ahead and start it up. Make sure the voltage is good. Looking good. Alright, simple as that. Thanks for watching.